hello there. How are you? I'm so glad you stopped by. Today I'm going to be doing what I think of as my lazy girl makeup. To say that I have been not wearing much makeup or not into makeup since I moved to South Carolina would be an understatement. I truly hardly wear makeup. I mostly just wear my skincare. But when I want my face to look a little bit fresher, a little bit more even, a little bit brighter, I have come up with a very simple makeup routine that works for me. And I thought I would share that with you today. If you're new here, welcome in. I'm so glad you stopped by. I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and lifestyle for the over 50 woman. I hope you'll consider subscribing while you're here and make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And I just realized I forgot to put on my lip gloss. I like to put on a plumping lip gloss while I do my makeup, even if I'm going to be doing a specific lipstick at the end, because it'll have a chance to kind of fluff my lips up a little bit. I use the City Beauty lip gloss. This is in the color Tinseltown. It's hard for me to read those little bitty labels on the bottom. So that's going to sit on my lips while I do my makeup. My makeup's going to take maybe 5 minutes. Probably longer today because I'm going to be chatting, but it's really, really quick. But this will kind of give me a little fuller lip by the end when I go to put on my lipstick. In my world, a makeup look is all in. In other words, it's a whole big deal when I do mascara. Mascara for me is kind of what, takes it over the top or just makes it a full makeup look, because I'm thinking about taking it off at the end of the day. Then I'll have to use a cleansing oil and then another cleanser and the whole thing. This is kind of what changes it from an easy look to a more complicated look. Not only do I have to put the mascara on, but then I have to take it off at the end of the night. I'm not going to be using mascara today. I have rarely worn mascara here just because I've been wearing my big glasses. It's just easier for me to see, and I just haven't. However, I want to tell you, I still have my favorites. This is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Base. If you have sparse lashes or short lashes, this will be your best friend. And then I am still loving the Maybelline Sky High Mascara. I found a few others that I like, but if we were out to lunch and you said, what's a great mascara at an affordable price, I'd say absolutely the Maybelline Sky High. So these are my two favorites, but they're not going to get used today. What I'm really looking for is to just even out my skin tone, give myself a little bit of color, a little bit of brightness, so that when I put my glasses on and I go out into the world, I feel a little bit more put together than just my skincare. Although I am fine going out in my skincare, I promise you that, and I do it all the time. I think it's because I feel like my skin itself, even though it's wrinkly and that sort of thing, I'm older, I'm 65. I just feel like when you have good skincare and your skin is fresh and bright, it's a great look. One thing, and I keep wagging this around, I'll talk about this in a minute, I promise. One thing I want to suggest that you do is to take a look at your skin, let's say in the morning when you first wake up, before you do your skincare. Take a look at it, maybe even take a picture of it, and then do your full skincare and your moisturizer and wait about 10 minutes and look at your skin again and maybe even take a picture. It's amazing to me, and I'm still stunned at it, the difference in my skin when I just put on my daily skincare, because that immediate moisture and all those good nutrients really does liven up my skin. One thing I have learned in my 3-year journey of skincare is that good skincare not only creates great skin down the road, but it creates great looking skin right now. So a good face of skincare will do wonders for the day. So I have my skincare on now. I've actually done my skincare. Lucy and I walked down to the farmer's market. Now we're back and I'm going to put on a little bit of makeup. So my skincare has had a chance to absorb into my skin. That moisture has plumped up my areas underneath my eyes and around the rest of my face and is ready for me to put on a little bit of makeup. What I'm going to start with is this is the Neutrogena Serum Foundation. You guys have seen me use this before, and the reason that I'm using it for this look is because it's very, very light. It feels like a serum to me, which it says in the name. So they named it appropriately. And I'm going to use this and just put it in a very small portion of my face. I'm not looking for full coverage. I'm not looking to cover every area of my face. I'm just looking to even out my skin tone a little bit. Now, the only bummer about this is it's got one of these squeeze thingies. I have never, I don't think ever, been able to get one of these to work satisfactorily. I mean, it works a little bit, but not enough. Definitely not my favorite. I would prefer a pump. So I'm just going to put a little bit on my face, and I'm not even going to use my sponge. I'm going to use my fingers, and I hardly ever use my fingers with my makeup because I just don't like it. It doesn't feel good. But because this is like a quick look, I don't wet my sponge. I don't drag out that whole thing. I don't drag out a foundation brush or anything like that. I just use my fingers and quickly apply this around my face. This is a very nice foundation. It feels great on the skin. It really does even out my skin tone. It lasts nicely and it wears off in a very reasonable way. In other words, it doesn't get patchy. It just sort of wears off evenly around my face. So when I'm doing a very easy look like I am today, it's kind of my best friend. So I've got that worked in all over my face, and you can see it's just evened out my skin tone a little bit. It feels like nothing on my skin. So it's super quick, and when I'm not talking, it maybe takes me 20 seconds. The next thing I'm going to do is hop into bronzer, and truly, this is so quick. Even though I'm going to do several steps, when you're just doing it focused, not chatting, it is really, really quick. You can use any bronzer, any blush, anything for this. I'm just using the ones that I find really easy and really convenient. This is the L'Oreal Lumi Bronze It. You can see I have loved that because not only have I hit pan, but the lid no longer is attached to the compact. So I'm just going to swirl a little bit on my brush. And what I'm going to do is just hit the regular areas that I bronze really, really quickly. I'm just looking for a little bit of color and a little bit of life to my face. So I'm just going to swirl this around super quick, maybe go over the bridge of my nose. And then of course, I always go down along my chin line to create just a little bit more definition in that area where I'm getting some laxity in my skin. I always try to get more in my hairline because I have a big forehead. I have a 5 head. I don't know what you have. Maybe it's not as much as mine. So boom, there's the bronzer. I'm all done with that. Next up is blush, and you can use any blush that you like. I like this one from Catrice, particularly because it's that pinky, peachy tone with a little bit of gold fleck and goes with almost everything. It really is kind of one of those very versatile tones. I'm going to take my little blush brush right here, tap it off, and just put some color on my cheeks. And I always go to the upstairs area of my cheeks because my cheeks are a little bit lower than they used to be. So I kind of pretend they're up here. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush. This is the BK Beauty 103 brush. I really like this. Nice and dense, great blending brush. And I'm just going to go over that bronzer and that blush really quickly. And that's going to smooth out and really melt into my skin over the next 10 to 15 minutes as it warms up from my skin and just settles in with my skincare and my natural skin oils. Next up is a little bit of glow. We know I'm all about the glow. This is the Revlon Skin Lights. I still am really loving this. If you have not tried a highlighter yet and you're thinking about wanting to try it, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, this is a great choice. This is the Revlon Skin Lights. This is in Daybreak Glimmer. So I'm just going to get a little bit on my brush right here, tap it off, and just hit the tops of my cheeks, the front a little bit. Again, really quickly. I just want to get a little bit of healthy glow on my face. I'm going to go back in with that 103 brush and just blend it in. Next up, I'm going to do my brows. My brows are long. In other words, the hairs are long and they get messed up and I look like Karl Malden really easily. So I add a little bit of color to my brows and then I'm going to set them just because I don't want the Karl Malden look as I'm walking around town and seeing people. So I'm just going to add a bit of color, not much. Just going to define them a little bit more than they are naturally. This is the Kosas Brow Pop. I'll have all these products listed and linked down below, so you don't have to remember them. Everything will be in the description box. Then to set my brows, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Wow Brow. You can use any setting gel, whatever you have on hand. This is just a quick little application just to encourage my brows to stay where I put them. Next, I'm going to curl my lashes. For me, curling my lashes makes all the difference in the world. Because my lashes go straight out without them being curled, if I curl them, they pop up a little bit and give me a little bit wider, bright-eyed look. Now, some of you, speaking of eyes, some of you have asked me, how do you get the whites of your eyes so white? That's super easy. These are drops called Lumify, and you put one drop in each eye. At least that's what I do. I put one drop in each eye, and within a few minutes, the whites of your eyes are nice and crisp and white. You can get this right off of Amazon. I think most makeup YouTubers use this, so this is the little inside trick. I'm just going to curl my lashes really quickly, and you can see what a difference that made just curling my lashes. Next, I'm going to take my L'Oreal Lay Liner, and I'm just going to tight line really quickly. And when I tight line, I am looking to hit the base of my lashes, not necessarily the skin underneath my lashes. I'm looking to really intensify the base of where those lashes hit on my eyelid. And you can see what a difference that made in just making my eyes a little bit deeper, a little bit richer, and looking like they're a little bit wider awake. Next up, I'm going to use the Hourglass Dim Light finishing powder, and this is almost kind of the little secret of this whole look. There's something magical about this powder. It just gives a beautiful glow to the skin. So I'm going to get a big fluffy brush. This is the Rephr 30 brush. I love this. Rephr is a little bit more expensive, but these are brushes you'll have for the rest of your life. So I've got the brush loaded up, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that all around my face. And you can see how it just brightens up the complexion and just gives a beautiful look to the skin. Now I'm going to take that lip gloss off. It's had a chance to flip up my lips a little bit. And I want to show you guys a lip combination that I have been wearing almost nonstop. I really, really love it. I think you're going to be amazed at how this lipstick really finishes off this very quick, very easy, lazy girl makeup. The lip liner is from Revlon, and this is in the color Mauve. This is an automatic pencil, so you just twist it up. And the lipstick is from BK Beauty. This is the color Acceptance. This combination is so gorgeous. And this lipstick is nice and hydrating, but it stays on. I've actually had this lipstick stay on my lips for 4, 5, almost 6 hours, which for me is almost unheard of because I'm a lip smusher. You know, I'm always doing this with my lips. This really stays on, and it's a fabulous color. Now that I have that lip liner on, I'm going to go and soften it up a little bit, but I don't want to move it onto the entire lip area because I want that transition from light to darker on my lip. Now I'm going to go in with the Acceptance. And look at that lip. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love it. I've got my complexion looking even and glowy with a little bit of color on it. I've curled my lashes. My brows are going to stay in place, hopefully, for the rest of the day. And I have a beautiful lipstick on. Stick on my glasses, and I'm good to go. I thought I would give you guys a little update on the mini garden here. And spoiler alert, it's mostly been a harvesting fail. However, the good news is that I have really learned so much more than I knew when I first showed up here about growing in this zone. As you can see, a lot of the pots are leafing out and are green. The harvest has been almost non-existent so far, but I have learned so much about the different types of pests and pressure when you're growing in a southern humid area. The first thing I want to show you, and I really have to talk to Ryan about this because I'm confused. These are my radishes, and as you can see, someone's been munching on them. Doesn't bother me a bit. I'm really looking at the fruit that is below the surface. But I want to show you this. Here's a radish root. There should be a nice plump radish at the end of this. And look, there's nothing.
None of my radishes, and I pulled a few of them up, have actually, put a radish at the end. They're just go to root, and I don't really understand that. I've grown radishes in the past, and they grow so fast, and they're really so very prolific. So I'm going to talk to Ryan and ask him, why don't I have radishes on my radishes? Over here, we have the kale, and you can see it's looking beautiful. I do have a little bit of pest issue on that, but I'm okay with that. When you're organically gardening, kind of the little rule of thumb is one for you and one for the pests. So if I can harvest 50% of what I planted and not have to spray and just acknowledge that there's going to be some pest issues, I'm fine with that. So the kale is looking awesome. This basil plant is going great. It is struggling a little bit, you can see up here at the top, with some brown spots. We did have a big storm come through here and it impacted some of the plantings. But other than that, I'm super pleased with this basil plant. Look at the deep, beautiful green leaves on that. It's just looking so very lush. Over in this pot are my beans, and you can see I have two bean plants. One that's just happy and singing along. The other one is kind of tiny. This one probably isn't going to do anything before I have to pull it when the frost shows up. But this little guy is going gangbusters. I have never grown beans before, so this is all about learning for me. I just wanted to see what it looks like, what it does, and how it grows out. So pleased with this. Over here are my two cherry tomatoes. And the first thing that you will notice is that they're really, really high. They're really high and they're not very bushy. This is for a reason. The sun has moved, and so this area gets into shade early in the day, and they're reaching for the sun. The sun comes up to the top, and that's what they're reaching for. These are 15-gallon pots. When they have water in them, they're super heavy, and I have not been able to move them on my own over to a sunnier area. Hopefully I can do that when my daughter is here. But you can see that the plant is really trying to serve itself by going up high to reach that sun. I do have some tomatoes on these plants, and remember, gosh, I planted these at the beginning or end of August. I'm not really sure. I can't remember, but I have tomatoes on it. So this just gives me such great excitement about the amount of tomatoes that I can actually grow when I have a full season. This other cherry tomato plant over here is doing the same thing, trying to reach up to the sun. Hopefully I can get these moved in time to get enough sun to ripen these tomatoes. I do have one that's almost ripe right down here. I love cherry tomatoes. I can eat them like candy, truly. Over here in this pot, and I saved this dead plant because I wanted to show it to you guys. This was my zucchini plant that died from powdery mildew. I have never seen powdery mildew before because I'm from the West Coast. We don't have that there. And zucchini plants on the West Coast, they grow so fast and are so prolific that come July and August, you're begging your friends to take some zucchini. This suffered from powdery mildew, and I had a couple of you pointed out in a video. I hadn't seen it before. I didn't know what it was, so I wasn't able to catch it in time. I do know now, so a great learning experience for me. Over here we have the chard. It's coming along. It again is in the area that's not getting enough sun, so I think once I move it over to the sunny area, it's going to start doing a whole lot better. And then I want to show you my cucumber plant. Again, not enough sun, but you can see I have some nice blossoms on here. Is there enough time to grow some cucumbers? I doubt it, but it's fun for me to watch what it does in this season. Now, here's a great thing from a learning lesson. I spotted the powdery mildew on this plant after I noticed it on the squash plant. The squash plant was already dead, but I was able to put together a natural mixture to get rid of the powdery mildew on this cucumber plant, and it's surviving and looking pretty doggone good. The last thing I want to show you is my green stock planter, and I've had a lot of questions about this. If you want to grow and you just don't have any room, this really is the ticket because you can grow so many plants in just the tiniest bit of a footprint. I have planted mustard greens and carrots so far, But I want you guys to see, this is another fail. Look at my mustard greens. Something came along and ate all the leaves of my mustard greens all the way around. What I'm suspecting is that it was the birds, because this is at the top of the planter, and I would imagine that there's just coming and sitting on this little ledge right here and eating these delicious, fresh, tasty greens. I'm going to go ahead and leave them because you can see I'm leafing out again. I might get some tulle or something to drape over this planter to protect the growth of the mustard greens. I don't know yet. We'll just see how it sort of pans out. And then down below are my carrots. I overplanted the carrots. I have 2 rows of carrots. I do need to go in and thin them out. I've been doing other stuff. So clearly I need to put some work into the garden. So that's the update on the little mini container garden. Not a lot of harvest at this time, but certainly a lot of great lessons.
I'm making breakfast. I thought we could chat while I do it. This is a breakfast that I have pretty much every morning lately. I don't know how long this is going to be my every morning breakfast. I kind of go through different phases, and this phase right now I'm really enjoying. I'm going to make a granola and fruit bowl, and I'll show you what goes into it. First of all, I have the granola. Now, I generally always make my own granola, but I'm out right now, and I haven't made a new batch. If you guys want to see how I make my granola, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll do a video on that. The granola I'm going to be using, I actually picked up on my trip when I was in Asheville. And I got it from Whole Foods. My daughter calls it Whole Paycheck. She's just about right on this one. And this is from a company called Granola Factory. Now, when I buy packaged food like this, I'll tell you what, I am looking at the ingredient list with a magnifying glass because I want to see what's in this food. There are so many times that I picked something up that claims super healthy, we're donating money to the rainforest and children with no shoes. And then I look at the ingredients, and the second ingredient is sugar. So it's just a big scam to get you to buy their product when it's really not that healthful. The reason I bought this granola while I was out of town is because of the ingredients. It reads organic rolled oats, perfect for me. Organic honey, yes, exactly. Butter, milk, salt, pecans, organic oat bran, cinnamon, and salt. That is exactly what I would put in a granola I would make in my own house. I love local honey. I love the fact that it's all organic. So I went ahead and picked this up. It's from a company called Granola Factory, and I looked online on Amazon. They do have it, but oh my gosh, it's ridiculously expensive from Amazon. I think it's like $16 for one of these, which is crazy. I think I maybe paid around $6.99. When you make your own granola, it's so easy and it's so delicious and it's so affordable. But I'm going to start out with a little bit of this granola. This is the organic grains and honey version. So I'm going to put just a little bit in my bowl here. This is maybe, oh gosh, a little more than 1/4 of a cup down in the bottom of my bowl. Next up, I'm going to slice up this mango. I have been eating a lot of mangoes lately because the fresh fruits from summer are gone. It's, no more. And mangoes are on the clean 15. In other words, I can buy these. I don't have to buy organic, and I know it's not going to be loaded with pesticides. So I always start by just peeling my mango. And I've lived in Mexico several times. I can peel a mango pretty darn quickly. And I'll put it in my compost bucket right here. I keep a compost bucket in my kitchen, and this is where I put all my organic products that go out in the compost pile in the back of the house. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel this really quickly. So that mango's all peeled. If you haven't done mangoes before, they can be a little bit of a challenge to get away from the seed. What I do is I just slice thin, long slices off that seed so that I have a spear of mango that I'll go ahead and then just chop up into chunks. So I'm just going around the mango and slicing off spears around the seed that's in the middle. So you can see this is what's left. I'll go ahead and throw this out because this doesn't really work in the compost bin. Now I'm going to take these spears, and when they're thicker like this one, I'm going to go ahead and just slice it in half so that I have 2 thinner spears, and then that's just going to get chopped up and into my bowl. And yes, I'm going to eat this whole mango. I love mangoes. I usually like to have a selection of fruits in my morning granola bowl. I sometimes use blueberries with my mangoes, and you can see my mangoes are almost filling up my bowl here. I don't have any blueberries today, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and add some chopped dates. I get these dates from Thrive Market. I love Thrive Market. It's one of my favorite places to shop. And these are organic medjool dates, and they're pitted. I love to have these for a snack sometimes during the day, and I'm going to go ahead and chop up 2 dates and add them to my bowl. And right on top of my mangoes they go. In addition, I'm going to add just a few of these goji berries. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. These are wonderful. Have you seen these before? If you like to do salads and you like to put dried cranberries in your salad, which are just packed full of sugar, and you don't know what else is in them, you can get these goji berries, which are a superfood, and they don't have added sugar. These are actually organic. I picked these up at Walmart. I was so surprised to see them there, but they do have some wonderful nutrients. So I'm just going to take a few right here and just sprinkle those right on top of my mango and dates. Now I'm going to take my granola again, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit around the top. Just add a little bit more to the upper part of my fruit bowl so I get some grains at the top of the bowl. Now I'm going to add a few walnuts for added protein, and those just go right on top of the bowl. It's getting pretty big, huh? Maybe I should have gotten a bigger bowl. And the last thing I'm going to add is some yogurt. I always get full fat, organic, plain yogurt. No sweeteners, no flavorings, nothing. I just want the plain yogurt because I want those probiotics and the protein and nothing else. So I'm just going to take a couple of spoonfuls of that and put it on top of my fruit. And my morning breakfast is good to go. Doesn't that look yummy? I'm gonna go sit down and eat it right now. Something very weird has happened here in South Carolina. It's cold. It got chilly. I'll tell you what, I'm sitting here and I'm feeling a little bit chilly, which is so surprising to me because of course I moved here the 1st of July, around the 7th of July, during the hottest, most humid time of the year in the South. I mean, if I could get through July, August, and most of September, I'm golden. And it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad. But almost overnight, it got cooler. There's not as much humidity in the air. I have to put lotion on my body, which is so funny. And it gets chilly at night. I actually have a comforter on my bed now. I think that it's probably so much more chilly, or feels chilly to me, because of the extreme heat. I come from the snow country. So 50 degrees is almost bathing suit weather for me. And now it's maybe in the 60s and I'm feeling a little cold. So I think it's probably just the contrast. Anyway, I'll stop about the weather, but I'm sure that I'll settle into the cooler months here in South Carolina soon. I've had so many of you ask me about the supplements I take. And as you probably can guess, I do take a lot of supplements and I'm very, very consistent with them. So I'm going to go over the supplements that I take today and all the other things that I do during the day from morning all the way through night to really kind of shore up my immune system, help me sleep better, help my joints function more smoothly, that sort of thing. As with my skincare, what I can tell you is this is my routine. It's specific to me. There are needs that I have that I've added these things for. So clearly, it's not the kind of thing that you will see what I take and go take it for yourself. I think it's really one of those things that a little bit of research on your own is a very, very good idea. As with skincare, there are a few things that I personally feel are almost must-haves in a supplement routine, and I'll kind of shout those out as I go through. But then again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a naturopath. I'm just someone who is interested in being as healthy as I can for as long as I can, and so far it's working. I feel pretty doggone good for 65. The first thing I want to shout out is this little pill case. Oh my gosh, I think I got this about a year ago. I just ordered it off of Amazon. I'll have it listed down below. This has been such a game changer for me because it saves me having to open up bottles every day and pour out pills just the right amount. It's like it just was such a hassle that I thought there's no way I want to do this every single day. So this is a 2-week case. Of course, it goes Sunday through Saturday. I don't ever pay attention to the days because I know when I have taken my vitamins, I don't have to remember. So this will keep me good for 2 weeks. And it just takes me maybe around 10 minutes every 2 weeks to sit down with my bucket of supplements and fill this thing up. So if you're planning on taking a lot of supplements, or if you do right now and you're sick of opening those things up every single morning, this is a huge game changer. So highly recommend this one. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hop into the actual vitamins and minerals I take. And then over here on the table, I have the other things that I take throughout the day. So we'll definitely start here. The first thing that I want to talk about is my Zstack. And I will have all of these listed down below so you don't have to worry about remembering them or anything. This is one of my very favorite things that I take. This was formulated by Dr. Zelenko, who was an absolute brilliant doctor. He passed away just a few months ago. Very, very sad, but just an incredibly brilliant man, giving, generous, and such a heart for healing people. He developed this during the whole kerfluffle because he wanted to put together a formulation that would really boost your immune system. So this is obviously very heavy on vitamin D and zinc. And let me give you a little story about vitamin D that I think is really worth sharing. I was down in the Palm Springs area. I used to live there. I lived there for 12 years, visiting a doctor and getting some hormone replacement therapy. This was clearly a long time ago because it's been a while for me. Maybe almost 20 years. And he was hooking me up with the hormone therapy and this and that. And he was a little bit more progressive. In other words, he was on it. He wasn't just, buying into whatever narrative was being sold at that time. He did a lot of research and he really was very focused on true health. And he said something really interesting to me, and it was the first time I got wind of vitamin D and how important it is. I had never taken vitamin D specifically, and probably at that point in my life had not really taken supplements regularly at all. What he said to me is, he said, I want you to take between 5 and 10,000 IUs of vitamin D every day. And I was like, what? And he said, yes. And he talked about the benefits of vitamin D, which are extraordinary and as long as your arm. And he said this one thing that I thought was really interesting, and I've never forgotten it. And mind you, it's been almost 20 years. What he said was, vitamin D is so good, they're going to figure out a way to make it illegal. And I thought, that's quite a statement. And you know what? I have taken vitamin D ever since then. He was very, very right, and I appreciate him being really honest with me and making it such a point. This Zstack has been so helpful for me because I was taking D, I was taking zinc, I was taking quercetin, all in different bottles. Here it's in one capsule. You take 2 capsules a day, preferably one earlier in the morning and then one a little bit later in the day. It has vitamin D. I would read them out. I can't see it. It's tiny. It also has vitamin C, very good for your immune system. It also has quercetin. My understanding of quercetin is that it's a zinc ionophore, which means that quercetin is the gun that shoots the zinc into the cell. Now, don't quote me on that. I'm remembering it from some talks I've seen over the last couple of years. But that's my understanding, is that quercetin really does facilitate the absorption of the zinc and the D and the C. So this is a must-have in my book. You can actually order this online. You can't find it in the stores anywhere. I'm on automatic order and they just send it to me. So love my Zstack. It really does support my immune system. And you know what? Over the last, what has it been, 2.5, 3 years? I haven't gotten sick. So that's a testimony right there. The next thing I take is a vitamin B complex right here. The reason I started in with this is, first of all, it makes me a nicer person. It mellows me out a little bit. And I really started sticking with it when I moved here to South Carolina because I had heard that your skin smells differently when you take vitamin D and the bugs don't like it. That has been the case for me. I was not taking vitamin B when I first got here. I was getting munched to death. I mean, I would come back from walking Lucy and have 12, 15 additional bites. It was really miserable. I ordered some vitamin B, and about 10 days to 2 weeks later, I was noticing much less bites. So love this vitamin B, plus it makes me nicer. I also take additional vitamin C. I just do, this is a liposomal formula from DACA. Of course, I'll have all these listed down below. So I take additional vitamin C on top of what's in Dr. Zelenko's formulation. Just a personal preference. It's something I've decided to do. Vitamin C can upset your tummy in the beginning. So if you're upping your vitamin C, just be aware of that. It does seem to level out. And I've heard from a lot of different doctors that you want to take vitamin C to bowel tolerance. And what that means is you want to take it up to the point where you start having tummy problems and then you back off that last little step. And that's where you want to be with vitamin C. That's what I've heard. The next thing I take is iodine. Why do I take iodine? Because I read the iodine book. And apparently there is a contingent of medical professionals who really think that iodine is a very, very important part of a healthy body, and we don't get enough of it or the right kinds or a pure enough form of it anymore. There is controversy about iodine in the community, the naturopathic community, and probably, the regular community as well. I went to a naturopath to get some blood work done before I moved here, and what she said is that there really was 2 camps on iodine. I have found that I do like the iodine. It seems to give me more energy. I just feel a lot better, so I've continued to take it. This is not prescription. You can get this right off of Amazon, and of course, I'll have it listed down below. So those are all the pills or capsules that I take on a regular basis, and I try to have them with my breakfast every morning so that I'm starting first thing in the day with my vitamins all revved up. And of course, I take them out of the bottles right here and I put them into my little pill case. And it's great for travel too. When I went on my road trip a little bit ago, I just grabbed this and threw it in my bag. This is a really easy way to manage your daily supplements and easy to take with you when you travel as well. Next up is all the other things that I take, and I do take a good amount of supplements and things that I add to my body during the day because I think one of the number one things, other than my family and friends who I love dearly, I just want to feel good. I don't mind leaving the planet. I really don't, because I know what comes next. But if I'm going to be here on the planet, I want to feel good. I want my joints to feel good. I want to feel energetic. I want to feel happy. I want to feel good in my body. And one thing that's really important for all of us to know is that your body produces chemicals in order to produce an emotional response. In other words, the emotional response is supported by the ability of your body to make the chemicals to create that emotional response. If you don't have the right nutrients and supplements on board in your body, you can't really express a wide range of emotional states because you don't have what it takes to create that in the body. So it's really important when you see someone who's really flat, who really doesn't ever really get happy or show empathy or broad range of emotions, it might well be that they're just nutritionally deficient and you just kind of flatline emotionally when you don't have everything on board. So what else do I take during the day? Well, I'll tell you what, the first thing that happens when I get up in the morning and I put the water on is I take my ion Biome. This is so important to me because it keeps my gut healthy. I do try to eat really healthy, but you know what? There's tons of toxins in our world, in the air, the chemtrails, in the water, in the food, in everything around us. There's toxins everywhere, and taking care of my gut is really, really important to me. So I take Ion Biome. I take between 2 and 3 teaspoons a day. I'll do 2 teaspoons if I'm just eating home for the whole day. If I'm going out, or if I'm really busy, or if I'm going to eat out, then I'll take 3 teaspoons. One thing that I do is when I come home from having eaten out at a restaurant, because when I go to a restaurant, I eat whatever I want, but within reason. I'm not going to sit down and order a blooming onion and a Coke. That's just not what I do. But if I get an entree and I have water with my meal, I'm going to come home and have some Ion to really just shore up my gut health. What I do is, this is, I think, my original bottle that I got years ago. Gosh, maybe 4 years ago now, when it was called Restore. And it's a tiny little bottle. You can see how big it is in my hand. I keep this on my counter. So I'll take my big bottle, put it into this bottle. I'll keep this on my counter. Now, don't tell anybody at Ion. This is what I do. But I just pop that lid right off and just shoot it like I'm, a shot of whiskey or something. I don't drink, but I do have this. So this is super, super handy. Again, this is great to travel with. When I went on my little road trip, I just grabbed my little bottle, made sure it was filled up, and threw it in my bag. So Restore, I wish they would not have changed the name. I still remember it as Restore. Ion Biome is the first thing that goes in my body every morning. After I've had my breakfast is when I have my C60. Now you're going to say, what is C60? I know. I haven't talked about this on my channel because it's fairly new to me. This is C60 Evo. C60 stands for carbon 60, which is a fullerene. I could tell you all the benefits that are claimed about C60, but you know what? I'm still a little hesitant to do that because I am just now really trying this. I've been on it for about 60 days now. If you go to Google C60, here's the sticky wicket. You will mostly find web pages from companies who make C60, and they will have claims there like it's a great antioxidant, it supports your immune system, it creates a longer lasting life. All these studies they've done on mice and this and that and the other thing. Here's the problem I have with that. If I'm reading a report from a company who made this product, what do you think they're going to say? They're going to say exactly what's going to support this product. I'm looking for independent studies, but I don't know if there's ever going to be any independent studies on this because, again, like I've said in the past, it's not a big pharma, big product. They're going to make billions of dollars on it, so who's going to spend the money on the studies? What I can say about C60 is that there are a lot of people who I really believe in and admire and look to for guidance when I'm looking for guidance, who take C60 and swear by it. That's why I'm taking C60. I had seen an interview that Penny Kelly did with Pam Grier. I believe her name is Pam Grier, who works with C60. I believe she's one of the founders of C60 Evo. And I was so impressed with what was talked about. Penny talked about her eyesight improving in just a matter of weeks. It hasn't happened for me, but it happened for Penny. And I was really convinced to give it a try. So I take 1 teaspoon of C60 every day after my breakfast. What has it done for me? I do feel an increase in energy, and another very weird thing, I'm trying to think of how to put it. My body feels more youthful, and I don't know how to say it any other way. I am able to do my Asian squats a lot easier. My joints feel a lot better. I actually ran with my dog the other day. I have not run in years, mostly because I don't want to run. I ran for decades. I don't want to do that anymore. But I noticed that my body just feels a lot more energetic, a lot more flexible. My joints are a lot happier. Just everything seems to be working better since I've been taking my C60. Now, I also take a topical C60. These are from the same company, and I'm actually on reorder in the package of these two. This is the C60 Advanced facial serum, and I put this on at night after my whole PM routine has absorbed into my skin. I will put on a dropper full, and actually when you do a dropper full, it's just like maybe a fourth of the dropper. That's all you need. You need such a tiny amount. And I'll put this over my face before I go to bed. One thing I can say about this is, oh my gosh, this smells so good. I'm not sure, I think it's lavender that's in here, which is so soothing and so nice before I go to bed. So I've been using this on my skin and I'm really, really liking it. Have I seen any changes? I can't really say that I've identified anything now. I'm going to keep using it and I'll definitely keep you guys aware of it. So the C60, the facial serum, and the C60, this is suspended in olive oil. They have different formulations. Some are in olive oil, some are in other stuff. This is what I get. So C60, new to my routine, but I'm pretty optimistic about it. Let's hop into what I do in the evening before I go to bed. About an hour before I'm going to go lights out, I'll go in and get a dropper full of my Jupiter CBD oil. I take the Dreamland and I take the higher dosage. I can't read it right here, but there's two levels, I think 60 and 120 or something. Mine's the highest. I love this stuff. I put it underneath my tongue. I hold it there for about 30 seconds, swallow it, and I'm good to go. This has helped me sleep really nicely. It helps with any feelings of anxiety before I go to bed, helps my joints just stay fluid and wonderful. I love CBD oil. I've been taking it for a long, long time. And if you guys know my story about it, I have tested and tried every CBD oil on the planet, just about. I'll tell you what, I have tasted some nasty CBD oils. I used to test them for a friend that worked in the CBD oil industry who needed to buy at retail. She'd say, try this and tell me if you like it. So I've tried a lot of them. Jupiter has been my favorite, hands down by far. There's not even one that's close to this. If you're looking for a good CBD oil, I can really, really, really highly recommend this one. Not only is the oil really nice, it's grown in sustainable farms, organically, single family farms. It's very, very consistent. It tastes as good as any CBD oil I've ever tried and a lot better. And the company is fabulous. The two fellas that started Jupiter started just about, I think it's been 2 years now. Their company has grown by leaps and bounds. I'm so happy for them and they deserve every single bit of it. Tyler, who handles customer service, he's a legend. He's absolutely brilliant. I can't recommend this enough. It's just a great product and a great company, which is a good combination. Mine again is the Dreamland. Love this stuff. So what else do I do? The other thing that I do at night, about an hour before I'm going to go lights out, is I have my Pure Sleep. And this here in this little jar, this is what I keep it in. And I keep it in this little jar and I love it because my friend Jen gave me some pickled onions in this jar and I cleaned it out and now I put my sleepy time drink in here. It makes me think of her at night before I go to bed, which I really love. So I keep it in this little jar and I'll show you guys the package in just a minute. What I do is I heat up a little cup of half organic coconut milk, full fat, and some of my structured water. I heat that up. And then I take a spoon of this and put that in the mixture, stir it up, and I have my little sleepy time drink. This stuff tastes so good. It's yummy. It's like strawberry quick flavor or something. It's really, really good. Here's the package of Pure Sleep. When you first order it, you can order it in a little tub, and it has the little scooper in that tub. And when you use that up, you can order the refills right here. This is nice because it doesn't create a lot of packaging waste. So the refills come in these little packs. It was formulated by a guy by the name of Cliff High, who's a brilliant guy. He's amazing. He's a little bit quirky, but I just love him. And he has put together this product. He had cancer and healed himself from the cancer and really wanted to support his body through his cancer journey, and came up with this Pure Sleep to help him sleep, to make sure that he got the rest he needed. What I found with this particular drink, and I have taken a few of them over the years, this is by far the best, the absolute best. I just love this. It takes the sleep drink to another level. One of the really cool things about this formula is not only does it help you sleep, I'm telling you what, you will go to sleep, But when you wake up in the morning, oh my gosh, you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Cliff High talks about it when he talks about pure sleep, that it's formulated so that you wake up with everything firing, with all your pistons firing. You're awake, you're ready to go, and I can attest to that. That is the absolute truth. So pure sleep is the last thing I do after my Jupiter CBD oil at night, and I sleep really well. And there you have it, my supplements and all the other goodies I take to keep my body working just as well as it can for the rest of my years here on this planet. I want to thank you so much for joining me for this little peek into what's going on in my life. I hope you found this video fun, useful, and helpful. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. You guys know it just tickles me when you take a few minutes out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Again, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and lifestyle for the over 50 woman. Make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.